All right, welcome to the place where truth meets transformation and epiphanies cause a revolution. I am your host, Brianna, and I'm so excited to talk to you today about the Book of Epiphanies. It is called Foreplay Through Wordplay, Orgasms for the Mind. And if you're here, I want to let you know right away, it is very important that you like, you subscribe, and you follow because this is a channel with no boundaries. And why? Because I decide that I write the rules and you should do that too. The Book of Epiphanies, when I decided to call it Foreplay for the Mind, I really wanted to help people understand that the epiphany is right there in the title. If you are using your mind for play, so read it backwards. If you're using your mind for play, life is really delicious and it's really yummy and it's really adventurous and it's really damn entertaining and like soul funny. But when you're in a state of rut and distress and how the hell is all this going to happen, then you're like totally not someone that is going to get seduced. Like it's just not going to happen unless they're desperate. So when you look at the very title, the Book of Epiphanies, Foreplay Through Wordplay, Orgasms for the Mind, I did that because I want you to see number one, your mind is foreplay. Okay. And then, of course, when we reverse that, foreplay is delicious, like hello. But we don't actually realize that we can be stroked by genius and caressed every single day just within the confines of our mind. And too many of us are waiting for the material realm to show up before we feel a sort of ecstasy. And I just think that's bullshit because my principles and my values are about speed and time. And I believe we can access that realm right here, right now. But if you're not present, if you're not here, if you're not in your body, if you're not aware, then you're going to miss the epiphany when it shows up. And so in my book, I just love it. I freaking love it. You ever create something and you're like, wow, you are a freak. And then your next thought is like, wow, yeah, you're a freak. And I think the biggest thing I had to overcome as an author wasn't actually publishing the book. So hear me out. The biggest breakthrough wasn't having to be okay with, oh my gosh, I'm an author. My identity is like going down the toilet. No, because I changed my identity before I ever wrote the book. Like I actually put a banner up on Facebook that said I am a speaker and an author way before the book was published because I understand identity work, which is the crux of what I do in my coaching with Universal Love Academy. So I can help you change your identity like that. But what you have got to get behind is when you come up against your fears, the fears that you think you're afraid of actually aren't the fears, not usually. Like, okay, we're all familiar with the core wounds of rejection. We're all familiar with the core wounds of repression. We're all familiar with the core wounds that we obviously all crave belonging. But I'm talking about the fears that are like real sneaky, like real sneaky. They're the ones that are like, dude, you're going to be perceived as a freak. I'm like, you're actually afraid of that? And it's like, yeah, I'm really afraid to be perceived as a freak. And I'm like, got it. Now that there's a flashlight on the little, devil inside my brain, I'm like, cool. So how about you just come forward and come into the light and let me love on you? Because honestly, like, doesn't everybody love a freak in the sheets? Because last time I checked, the freak wasn't someone that we just like crucified. The freak was someone we all wanted to be like. We just don't let ourselves do it until the door is closed. So do you see what I'm saying? Like when you spotlight the little devils in your brain that say you should be afraid of this and you shouldn't show up like that and you shouldn't say that and you should have said this and you should have dressed differently, like all of that noise is just noise. Okay? Like literally, you can tell your brain to hush it. Like hush it right now. Be quiet. And if you're going to let it be like, throwing a tantrum on the damn floor, then you better tell it what the rules are. Like, okay, you're going to be afraid of this thing, which is being perceived as a freak, which is what I had to overcome. And I realized that being a freak is actually where it's at. Like Lady Gaga wore meat all over her body. And like, yeah, there was judgment. Sure, there was all kinds of like commentary, but beyond all that noise, at the end of the day, she goes home and she's the only one in the world that says, I did that. Do you see the reward? Like, do you see the reward? So yes, there was all this noise happening. And that's probably not the best analogy because it's not my favorite. But my point is that life, gotta get comfy. Life is going to reward you when you are willing to be perceived as genius or freak. Because inside of the realm of consciousness, it's the same coin. Because the ones that have accepted their inner weird, their inner like holy freak, they're the same ones that are like, oh, that's actually really genius because they're open to new ideas. So, as long as you are worried about how you're perceived, you'll never actually stroke your mental genius. And that's why I wrote this book. I let myself be completely the freak so that you could decide at the end of the book, genius or freak doesn't matter. Because I know, regardless of the outcome, that I get to go to bed at night saying, I did that. And then you get to go to bed at night saying, holy shitballs. Maybe you won't say it that way, but you'll say, wow, I had no idea that I could play with sound and that I could have the same freedom she has. So I tell people in this book, here's your one-liner. Freedom is to have a free dome. Freedom is literally the spelling of a free dome. Literally, free dome. If you want your dome to be free, you got to stop putting rigid rules around your creativity, your stroke of genius, your essence, your brilliance, your thoughts, your ideas, your creativity, your what ifs, right? Because a free dome doesn't mean that you're free without thought. That's not what meditation is, dude. A free dome is like, okay, I'm going to let you like go wherever you want to. You are to be free. And instead of rigidity, you choose just one mental boundary. I have one mental boundary with my own consciousness. You may go wherever you want to, but you will not use your brilliance to harm me or to harm another. That's my rule. That's it. And then the stallion gets to run free wherever the hell it wants to go. It's like today we want to write a book. Cool. Tomorrow we want to freaking, write some rap song. I don't know, but I've got the brilliance for it. I might show it to you one day. Literally every time I hear a song, I'm like, oh, I can change those words in like 2 seconds. So my brilliance is with words. If you haven't figured it out, my name's Brianna Anderson. That is a really big poster back there because all I do is 2 things. I am an author and I speak, right? But I know my gift is words. So I'm going to gift those words to you only for one purpose, not so that you think like me, but so that you can think to be free. Yeah, like that just happened. So think to be free. You can have freedom the moment you decide that you can have a free dome. But if you're not going to take control of what is in your dome, then you do not get to say that you just have it worse than everybody else, because you don't. There are some of us who know how to ride a stallion really damn well. And there are some of us who are like, I'm actually really afraid. And that's okay. Because not everybody wants to be out there and loud and bold and seen and all the things. But regardless of your level of consciousness, I can promise you one thing. By the end of this book, you will trust your ideas. You will trust your knowing. And you will trust that it is okay to do it your way. You down? You down? I'm asking you out on a second date. So you're going to like, subscribe. What's the other one? Hit the bell notification, because why not? And here's another thing. I don't post once a week. Sometimes I'll post like 7 videos a day because I have the beautiful bounteousness of time. And other days I'm like killing it in life. I'll touch it when I touch it. But here's what I know. Epiphanies will stroke you every single day that you are available to be had, essentially. So be available. Okay. So like, subscribe, and then below in the comments, go purchase the damn book. Send it to your friend. Send it to your mom. Like, let's all just decide that we're going to let ourselves be that free. Let's just say it, shall we? Because everybody on the planet wants the orgasm. They just didn't know they could have it in their brain. They didn't know that it was not just for the body, right? So I'm really excited to introduce you to those ideas. And until next time, I'll see you in the next episode.